All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So I want to talk about something super important, and as you can tell from the title of this video, it's a topic that many people may not necessarily have a full exposure to, and I want to talk about it at a level that you may not necessarily have ever thought about. And a lot of us think, oh, okay, there's people around us that are influenced by Satan or the devil. There are people that are, very much in love with the Lord and they do different things for the Lord. But really, if you're an everyday person, and I don't mean that in any offensive way, a lot of us don't necessarily see some of the people that are the modern day Esthers, the modern day Davids, the modern day Josephs of the world. And there are people that are really sold out for the Lord and also sold out for Satan. And I'll talk about what that means in a second. And a lot of us, we have this idea of Christianity or maybe the other side of it on kind of a smaller scale. But really, there's actually a very large scale, meaning that if this is neutral in the middle, and there are people in various scales that are more sold out for Christ and they have more stewardship and more responsibility. They're more anointed. They have a greater degree of responsibility. And they're not necessarily obviously better. Obviously, God sees everyone the same, but they have been given more. They've been given, like the Bible says, 10 talents. They've been given, 5 talents. And if you have 1 talent, it's not necessarily that you are worse off or you're a bad Christian, right? I'm not trying to say or equate your level of quote unquote Christianity and your level of spirituality to how much influence or how much responsibility you have. But there is a correlation to how much the Lord is giving more of and how much more he's promoting you in certain areas, whether it's in a quiet role. Sometimes you are living in a cave and you are just, you are interceding and you're praying. These people are just as important and just as powerful as people that may have a lot of money or they have a lot of political influence or power, political power or social power, whatever it is. There are people on either side, whether it's well known or whether it's quiet. But in God's eyes, these people have been given certain special privileges and anointings. And this is consistent with the Bible, right? Again, like I say, modern Davids, modern Solomons, modern Esther's and modern, Joseph's and who you name it, right? And it's not that they were better people. They were just given certain anointings and certain mantles, right? But there is also a correlation with how much and how faithful they were, because these people on this side, they were sold out for the Lord. They didn't care who they were with regards to their opinion about with people. They didn't care that they had all these riches, they had all this whatever influence or whatever it was, but they cared to give glory to the Lord and they lived righteously before God. And because they had that as a steadfast way, like Job or whoever it is, these people, they were given certain levels or more and more, right? And this is consistent with the character of God, because again, God is looking for people that, and he's roaming and he's scouring people that are, that would do the will of God, right? And the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And there are very few people that truly, as they grow, as they are given more responsibility, more resources, there are truly few people that are chosen to be able to stand the test of time, to pass a lot of these tests, right? And it's not to say they're perfect. They sin along the way, but some of these people, they can be trusted. They can be entrusted with all these things, and they still don't get caught up in the riches and the glory and the self pride and the glorification of themselves. But really, they're doing things for kingdom purposes, okay? And it's not necessarily that those people that are less or they have less are worse off. They may, be given a certain amount, but they're still sold out for the Lord. Only God knows someone's heart. But there is also a correlation that if you are, a bad steward of your resources, if you're a bad steward of something, God's not going to promote you to the next level. He's not going to make you, the president of this and that if you just want to give glory to yourself. And if you struggle with pride, if you struggle with these other things, God's not going to bring somebody up like that. Again, everyone has a journey and a process. But again, there's also this scale, right? And so, again, it's not one-to-one, but there is a correlation. And so I want to make that clear. And a lot of people, they can see this, they would agree with that. But the thing that I want to bring attention to is that there are people on the other spectrum, and it's the same spectrum, but on the satanic side. And what I mean by that is if you are just a non-believer, let's say, and you are just of the world, you don't you don't quote unquote worship Satan, but you are just influenced by the things of the world. You are easily allowed a demonic spirit to come in you and to influence you. You are easily oppressed and you're easily tossed and turned, right? And so a lot of us see that. That's what we know when we observe things from our own eyes. You see somebody at, a school or at a party or wherever it is, you see these people. And similarly with lukewarm Christians, you see these people at church and all that, but you don't necessarily see the higher level and the spectrum on the other side. You don't necessarily see a prayer warrior, somebody that is hardcore praying like hours a day, all the time, someone that's hardcore, just sold out for the Lord and in a position of influence and power. You don't see these people on an everyday basis because there's less of these people and there's less of these roles that you can really take. And so same goes, like I've said, there are people that are influenced satanically, just in the flesh and things like that, but they're not necessarily admitting that they, worship Satan or they love Satan or they love demonic things. They'll just say that they love the things of that, right? Same with Christians. Oh, they love the idea of church. They love the idea of doing good, but they're not really sold out. They're not really sold out for the Lord. And what I want to call attention to is there are some people that are sold out for the Satan. They're sold out for the devil. They're sold out for wicked things. So much that the devil, with the limited amount of power that God has given him, Satan has allowed these people to be promoted. Okay, they've been promoted to things, to more fame, to more authority, to positions of power, of influence on the opposite spectrum. Okay, and so something maybe a lot of people might be aware of is Hollywood or the music industry or whatever entertainment industry and all that stuff. Satan has given them more fame, more authority, and more riches, so that they can satisfy their own flesh, but also that they would call attention to Satan himself. A recent example is like Lil Nas, right, with his shoes, the blood shoes and all that. Such a wicked thing, but people are calling attention to that. They're singing these songs. They're dancing away to the wicked things of this world. And it's because Satan has allowed these people who have sold their souls, and people say this, like if you've heard it in the entertainment industry, it's true. They've sold their souls to the devil. They sold themselves to the devil such that Satan would give them a little more influence and a little more power, and they have upgraded them. They have promoted them. The same goes in the political, in the influential realm of the world, whether you have a lot of money and power or whether you have some position of authority, whatever it is. These people, they've been put there because they have wholeheartedly sold themselves out to do wicked things and to worship Satan. And they're not, some of these people, they're worshiping the ideas of fame and global domination and control and all these things. But some of these people, they straight up, they do demonic things and worship Satan like it's like their own church, like their own ritual, blood, things, sacrifices, pedophilia, whatever it is. There's so many things that sacrifices, right? They do these things in the secret that literally give glory to Satan, and it's sick and it's disgusting. Okay, and you see these people that are famous and in the limelight. They may not necessarily, obviously, they're not going to show their satanic side, but they've been given that authority. Just like how you have these Christians that are in politics and influence. Okay. I don't know. I'll give a couple examples. Kayleigh McEnany, right? This press secretary. She's a woman of God, sold out, but she's doing her job wholeheartedly for the Lord. Jenna Ellis, the lawyer on that administration on Trump's team, right? There's so many other people. I'm just giving a couple examples. But again, on the satanic side, there's these people as well. But they do things in secret that are just as intense as the people that are sold out for Christ. And similarly, there are people that are in the caves. I talk about the intercessors and the prayer warriors. There are people that are in the caves of the satanic side. They're doing rituals. They're like witches and warlocks. They're doing things. They're doing dances and they're casting spells. They're doing all these different things that are so wicked in the eyes of God, but they're so sold out for the devil that they actually have signs and wonders. They actually have these things that are spiritually empowered, right? And they have this authority to do certain things and move in a spiritual way because they have satanic influence. And so what I want to call attention to is the fact that there is this equal and opposite kind of V formation, right? And the higher you go, the more power, influence, the more promotion you have. And same with this side, okay? And I want to call attention to that because a lot of us, we are kind of at the bottom of this V, right? And it's not, like I said, we're not necessarily worse off, or we're not less people than the other people, but it's because we only see with our eyes, with what's around us. You see, someone oppressed or demonically influenced, but we don't see the fact that there are some people in the secret place. They sell their souls and they're sold out to Satan, such that Satan has given them more and more and more so that they can influence the world in a heavier, in a more sadistic way, such that they are indoctrinating, the minds of people in the music industry, in politics, whether you want to call it the left or whether you want to call it, lies and deception. Like, there are people that are behind this. It's not just people that are saying, oh, like, I'm ignorant of God and I'm just doing. There's some like that, of course, but there are people that truly give worship and glory and honor to Satan consciously, okay? And there's so much of this happening. And there's even people that I've heard they fast like 40 days. They fast on behalf of Satan and all this stuff, such that they would curse like the families of pastors and families of spiritual leaders and things like that. But on this side, right, a lot of us, we don't even have that kind of urgency. We don't even have that kind of desire and that kind of fight in us, okay? And a lot of us, we confuse ourselves because, again, I'm not trying to say this is a work-based salvation. We are all saved by the grace of God. But some of us, we take our faith very lukewarm. We take it very like it's nothing, right? In some sense, we don't take it seriously, and we need to be able to take our faith with the level of urgency, with the level of discipline, and the level of heart and desire, and out of the goodness of the Lord, and of just wanting to give Him the glory and honor and worship. And so, if you are praying, or if you aren't praying these things, I urge you and I encourage you to do that, because God can give you more, jurisdiction, more authority, more influence, more resources to be able to do the work of God, to be able to go out into the kingdom of God to do things. And that's one of my desires too. Lord, I want to impact the world. I want to impact the kingdom for your glory. And man, I've been planting and I've been doing so many things for Him, over the years. And of course, God has grown me and He's changed me, and I'm still growing. But my heart and my desire is the same. And I want to be able to get into the world and give as much as I can and do whatever it is that the Lord would allow me to do. And I want to do it wholeheartedly for Him, right? And we need to be in that mindset. And again, I'm not saying look at me as an example. I'm just a broken man. But there are many people of influence, of authority in the quiet place, in positions of power and influence. And again, whether you have a lot or less doesn't matter, because God is looking at the heart. And if your heart isn't one that's sold out and urgent for Him, then I encourage you to pray for that, to really seek that kind of a heart, because we need these kind of people, soldiers of Christ, sold out for Him. We need these people more than ever, because there are so many people on the other side, on this other spectrum, that are being promoted more and more. They're given more and more, and they are influencing and impacting social media. They're influencing YouTube. They're influencing TikTok. They're influencing news. They're influencing all these places that we can't even fathom how much destruction, how much divide, and how much sadistic things that they're doing to impact and indoctrinate and mold the minds of people away from Christ. And so I urge you guys to think about this, because this is such an important topic. And man, if we have more of these people on this side being promoted and doing more for the Lord, then God is going to use that. And so don't even think for a moment that, oh man, I don't want to ask for more. I don't want to ask for more material goods. I don't want to ask for more influence or power. I don't want to ask for a better job because, I need to be content with what I have. Yes, you have to be content, and that's a different topic. But I'm saying, if you are sold out for the kingdom, if you're sold out to want to make more of an impact and an influence, God is looking for those kinds of people. But He's looking at the heart first. He's looking at you to make sure that you have a consistency, that you have grace and mercy, and you have a desire to give Him all the glory in that. So I want to encourage you guys with this message, and hopefully it's influenced you and impacted you, so that you would go to the Lord, that you would be sold out for the Lord, and to, in this next chapter, in this next season, that we can be together, a body of Christ, united and sold out for him in all of our different talents and all of our different callings and our different ways that we have to be able to influence the world. So God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys very soon.